on the movie.
So, I do plan on getting videos closer together. That didn't work out this time, but next time, I got you guys. I do have some stuff planned out. I do have some movie reviews that I want to do, just because, you know, you don't see enough of those on YouTube, right? But until then, let's go ahead and talk about my favorite kind of people, flat earth people. Wow, this mask, I got this mask thinking it would be cool, but it's really uncomfortable because it's like dumb fucking plastic. My ears get pinched and I feel like Smeagol. Anyways, flat earthers. Flat earthers are actually some of my favorite kind of people. I disagree with them. I think that they should go extinct. And some of you may not even know this just by looking at me. Not unless you follow my Instagram at groovy_Lucifer. You like that? You like that little plug right there? I am a big fan of science. I'm a man of science, even. And one of my absolute favorite things about science is NASA, space, the moon, you know, round Earths, and of course, photographs. The photographs that come from satellites and stuff like that. Mind-blowing. So you might imagine the sound of my little heart breaking when I heard about this woman that goes by the name of Mensa girl, or Mensa girl. I don't know how hard you're supposed to pronounce that R, but she was formerly known as Orphan Red. She has around 800k followers on YouTube, and that hurts me more than anyone ever could. Please subscribe. Now, when I saw this, I originally thought she was a troll. I thought she was fucking with people, and you'll see why, probably. But then I started to look into it a little bit more and realized that I'm probably wrong. She's not joking. There's no way someone could keep a joke up this long. It would be like if Chris Chan stood up one day and said, "Hey guys, it was all a meme." This lady, while not as bad as Chris Chan, her words still don't instill a lot of confidence in me. But of course, she's a flat earther. She subscribes to the idea that the round earth is a sham, a scam made by the government, I think. But let's all be good lads and lassies and listen to her points of view, see exactly what she has to say, and then make fun of her relentlessly. Because everyone deserves to be listened to once before being bullied.
The Cassini photographic probe was sent out to photograph Saturn and its rings and its moons and send the photos back to Earth. And recently it completed its mission. It sent back amazing pictures of Saturn, of the rings of Saturn, crystal clear imagery. And then NASA shared those pictures with the world. But is that actually what happened? And is that actually possible?
Yes, okay. We got one fact and a question, and that's how a lot of presentations start, so maybe it's rhetorical.
JPEG type images to NASA from Saturn, and so that somehow the Cassini was a lot like the camera that I'm using now.
Yeah, that's actually not far off from what actually happened. Cassini's image system used two cameras. A narrow angle camera that narrows in on light using mirrors to take pictures and stuff, like, you know, the surface of Saturn's moons. And a wide angle, not dissimilar from the one that I'm using right now, is used to take pictures of, you know, fucking planets. So good job, Brad. Not too bad so far.
Taking pictures and sending like an email through the vastness of space, JPEG images, and then the NASA scientists.
Whoa, hold, please. They're scientists, not scientists. You guys like that? The first nitpick of the video?
We're just opening the email, downloading the image, and there we go, that's Saturn. Except that's not how it worked at all.
Okay, so we got another one. That's not how it works, but I would like to hear the explanation before I explain it myself, so let's get into it.
How it actually worked is that the Cassini took data readings. The Cassini took images of Saturn, but then it transformed it into data that it then beamed through interplanetary space and then through our atmosphere, through the Van Allen belts, through the plasma shield, that NASA found around our planet several years back, through the atmosphere, through the dust, into the NASA offices. Information, and took some very skilled artists, and the artists used the information that was beamed back from Cassini to create these fantastic images of Saturn and its moons and its rings.
Okay, so let's jump to the conclusion here, because there's a lot of filler in this video. Thank you, Red. You think that the Cassini takes a picture, then that information from the picture gets sent email format style to a guy in NASA who draws it based off the data from that picture. Okay. This is how it actually works. Light hits the charge coupler devices as Cassini takes a picture, kind of like a picture, you know, here, shutter opens and closes, and that lets light in, converting all the light into pixels. At that point, the pixels are measured in brightness. Brightness is shown through a number from like 1 to 100, which to that point, it's sent back to Earth. Someone looks at those numbers. For example, 0 would mean no light, and 100 would mean the brightest of all lights. NASA receives those radio waves, where a computer turns them into data, where computers turn the data into a coherent picture. Again, like I said, I'm going to be cutting a lot from this lady's original video. The editing isn't going to be fun for me. And that's actually half the reason why I laid this video off for so long, because I knew it was going to be fucking horrible.
I forget what much like the camera I'm using now. The Cassini is taking a photograph of Saturn, let's say, or Saturn's rings. What's happening is the light from the sun is bouncing off the rings of Saturn and into the Cassini camera, and then onto the detector, the light detector sensor, and that creates the image in the same way that the camera I'm using now is doing. But here is a crucial factor that's required for an image to be formed in a camera that NASA is curiously not addressing.
Oh no. I feel like I'm not gonna like this.
And none of the scientists, astronomers, astrophysicists, popular media reporting on these things, nobody's talking about this, nobody's brought this up, except for me. And I'm going to keep bringing it up because I think this is something that you cannot ignore.
This is a face that tells me I'm not gonna like this.
You can't just say, I don't really understand how that will work, so I won't think about it. You're a citizen of the world, and as a citizen of the world, you have a responsibility to make sure that knowledge is valued and truth is the standard by which we separate knowledge from belief.
Okay, I think I need to interject real fast. There's this correlation between how much you know and how much you think you know. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Basically, the less information you know about something, the more likely you are to think that you're smart in it. I think you might want to look into this, Red.
A belief might be true, it might be false. Knowledge, by definition, should be true.
She talks like a cult leader. It's kind of scary, actually.
And so if NASA is telling us, here's an image of the rings of Saturn taken by the Cassini spacecraft in orbit around Saturn, and that becomes part of human knowledge, then it should be true. Otherwise, we're spreading lies, because these images aren't being presented as part of a religious belief system, iconography. These images are being presented as truth for not just North American culture, not just Americans, but the world over. And so if they're not true, then we have a moral obligation to talk about that.
But cult mentalities aside, this is what I like to call word salad. She uses a lot of really big words and says nothing with them.
So here's the problem. In order for a camera to take a picture, the light has to fall onto the sensors in such a way as to form an image. And in order to do that, it has to be consciously observed. It has to be observed by a conscious being. Do you see where the problem lies here?
Oh my. She's very condescending, yet so very wrong.
If there's no conscious observer, observing the light that's falling into the camera and then falling onto the sensor in the camera, then the light won't travel as photons, as particles. The light will travel as waves that interfere with each other. And so if you don't have a conscious observer observing the light going into the camera, then on your camera's detector sensors, you'll get an interference pattern. You'll never get an image. A camera out by Saturn trying to take a picture of the light bouncing off the rings of Saturn would not be able to form an image without a conscious observer there to collapse the photon probabilities, the probability wave distribution of photons into particles that can then form an image on the sensors. Without a conscious observer, you have no image. What you have are just interference patterns.
It is. It 100% is. So I guess that leaves it up to me to tell everybody the fucking truth. The Earth is round and space is real.
By some spacecraft out in the middle of interplanetary space, taking pictures of unwitnessed photon distribution probability waves, and then beaming them back through no medium, and then through the high-speed electron plasma shielding.
Holy shit. I almost had a stroke. Okay, so if I heard her properly, she's using the good old, if a tree falls in the forest, does it really make a noise? The answer is yes. It makes a noise. It makes a loud noise. Good old Schrodinger's cat. But look, just to prove it, light is made up of particles. Particles are called photons. Photons make a wave. They come in different frequencies and shit, but a photon's a photon. The only difference is energy. So conscious observer or not, light is light. Those photons are still gonna hit the CCD detector of the camera and make a fucking picture. But hey guys, I'm gonna stop there because I'm kind of losing my mind. I'm gonna have a fucking heart attack. No, and I don't want to put you through more of this bullshit. Do you guys hear that? There's a watch. There's a watch somewhere in my room, and I have no fucking clue where it is. It's been beeping for days. Anyways, I'm Trash Daddy. I plan on working on some pretty big projects, so feel free to stick around for that as well as other videos like this. Have a good day and be a friend.